In the latest chapter of One Punch Man, King arrives to the battlefield as all of the S-rank heroes are getting demolished by the monster cadre. And as King stands up on the cliff, staring down insanely powerful monster cadre, he strikes fear into their hearts. The story wants you to believe that King is a nobody and he has no powers, as he even says so in the anime, Saitama being the only one who actually knows his true secret. However, there is way more than meets the eye. King actually does have powers. He has incredible powers. He's pretty much one of the most overpowered characters in the entirety of the One Punch Man universe. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why. Now, the author writes it in a way that whenever he gets confronted with an enemy, in some comical fashion, he ends up winning, even though he's crapping his pants, as his heart beats so hard outside of his chest that it creates the King engine sound effect. And in doing so, he wins. Every single time. There is not one battle since he got his claw mark on his face that he has lost or taken any damage. And you might be thinking, oh, well, that's because Saitama always arrives and takes out the enemy that threatens him, but that's not necessarily the case. There's even a chapter in the One Punch Man manga where King's very presence is so powerful that he just straight up looks at a monster and the monster dies. The monster just melts into a puddle of mush from King's gaze. There's also a bonus chapter called King's Day Off, where a group of villains confronts him in a cafe, and just through his very nature, he terrifies them so hard that they all run in terror. King has a presence. It's almost like this divine aura that you can even see from the first time he's introduced at the S-class meeting. Now, everyone calls him the strongest man on Earth, which we obviously know is actually Saitama, but he might as well be the strongest on Earth because he literally cannot lose. And that really is what King's power is. It's almost like the power of parody, but it's more than even just luck. Now, several times throughout the anime and the manga, you can see King with this aura. Now, this aura is of particular interest because, one, the author of the original webcomic even spoke about the aura, saying that King has an aura that is mistaken for being strong, but it is a chain that binds him, which is a rough translation, but definitely giving a hint as to what his true powers actually are. Now, this aura that he has one other effect besides luck and terrifying enemies. The third effect of the aura is to rally his allies. Many times throughout the story, King has been faced with an insurmountable enemy, and when good guys see that King is about to fight, they all jump in and do the work for him. Knowing that the all-powerful King is there on the battlefield backing them up, it rallies his allies to go into battle themselves, most of the time being able to win without even his help. And as we saw in the most recent One Punch Man chapter, as he was staring down the faces of the 4 monster cadre, and he was about to get blasted by Homeless Emperor, Zombie Man burst through the ground and took out Homeless Emperor. This is part of the rallying effect of King. Additionally, we saw Child Emperor envision his ultimate ability, the ultimate Hellfire Wave Motion Cannon. And while King didn't actually manifest this mega power and wake it up, Child Emperor's depiction of this ultimate Hellfire Wave Motion Cannon is what villains believe, and heroes alike, that King is capable of. Basically, that he has some sort of planet-busting attack, and that if you challenge him, he could vaporize you in an instant. It's also interesting to note that monsters in the face of King start to second guess themselves so much that a lot of times they'll just lose or run away altogether, cowering in fear, giving up, or fleeing as fast as possible. So King is also able to play these mind games with his opponents. With overwhelming confidence as he stands in front of them, they believe that he is playing some sort of psychological game with them, causing them to completely second guess their actions or even attacking him, pretty much making him invulnerable. And so that's why King is so strong. He has this variety of abilities within his aura that pretty much makes him a god. He can't lose, he can't be defeated, and if he shows up at the battlefield, that monster is going to die, and you can guarantee it every single time. That's what makes King god level. Now, there's a lot of other hints and nuggets of information hidden throughout the manga and the anime that give you details about King's true power and his luck aura. There's also some symbolism in the anime and the manga which depict his overwhelming luck, and one of the main ones being that he is rank 7, i.e. lucky number 7. Also, some fans have even asked Murata himself, will King awaken his true power? Murata's response was, no, King cannot have his power awakened, he'll lose his charm. King is the best just the way he is. Everything he does is hero-like too. King should be able to become a hero just the way he is now. I heard a bit from one. Either way, please look forward to the story. He will show his manly side. The relationship between Saitama and King is a unique one. Not only is Saitama the only one who knows King's secret, but King is one of the only ones who knows Saitama's secret. Additionally, while King has taken the credit for all of Saitama's kills, King is actually the only one who has ever beaten Saitama. It was in a video game, but it counts, okay? And in the new One Punch Man movie, King is going to be played by Jason Statham. I'm just kidding, that's just a meme, but honestly, it could work. Just please don't make The Rock Saitama, for the love of God. But their friendship actually means more than just comedy. Both of these characters essentially cannot lose. They are win conditions. When they show up to the battlefield, the battle is over, and quickly at that. It doesn't matter if King just gets all the credit for destroying monsters that Saitama has killed, because his credibility and clout are so high now that in the face of King, he might as well be that strong, striking fear and terror into his opponents. Additionally, King has gotten so good at bluffing that it only adds to his overwhelming aura. Most of the times when he's confronted with a powerful enemy, he's thinking to himself, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But the words that he conveys and the stare that he gives his opponent is enough to win on its own. So between luck and intimidation and rallying his allies, when King enters the battlefield, it's game over. And that's why, although he doesn't really have any powers besides this luck and intimidation, he's probably the third most OP character in the One Punch Man universe besides Saitama and Blast. And even with all that said, we all know that he pretty much has Saitama on speed dial, and if any mega powerful villain comes that actually challenge him, Saitama will just simply arrive. Take a look at Elder Centipede. King is unbeatable and always will be. With so many similarities to Saitama in that sense, in that whole theme, that parody plot armor complex where you just simply cannot lose. But that's why the writing for this character is so genius. While he doesn't technically have superpowers, the sheer clout and achievements that everyone gives him essentially gives him the powers that they think he has. So in a sense, he is one of the most reliable S-rank heroes, because whenever he faces a villain, that villain is gonna lose. And that is why he's the king.